Welcome, friends. Let us get into the meditation. Take a very comfortable posture by crossing your hands, crossing your legs, closing your eyes. Just become one with your breath. A natural, normal, soft, tender, tranquil breath. Just relax yourself completely. Relaxing your body and calming your mind. Just for 10 minutes. Forget about everything that is happening around. And get into yourself. Just be with your breath, friends. Last 1 minute, friends. Now slowly bring back your awareness to your physical body and to your surroundings. Just be grateful for everything that we have in our life, friends. Let us be grateful for our own life. Let us be grateful for everybody else around you. Let us be grateful for the group that each day we are supporting each other. Each day we are learning from each other. Each day we are there for each other. I'm grateful for all of you. For sharing their experiences, making me learn many things. I'm ever grateful to all of you, friends. Now, whenever you're ready, friends, you may place your both hands over your eyes and slowly remove your hands and you may open your eyes. Welcome back, friends. I hope you all had a short, peaceful meditation. And today we are on day 28 of 49 days of enlightenment or no death. And each day, as we have said, that we are learning a lot of things, we are sharing a lot of things, we are knowing a lot of things. So for me personally, I feel that it's a great gift of 49 days that I have given to myself in knowing each one's experiences, in being here in this group, in being there for each other as friends. So the topic for today's is very interesting and it is going to be a little long. And that's why I had to end the meditation quickly. So the topic is yours is the judgment. It's from Testimony of Light. Is a document of lasting importance, telepathically transmitted to Helen Greaves by close friend Frances Banks, a nun who left this world on 2nd November 1965. Frances Banks dies as she had lived, fully conscious of what she was doing and where she hoped to go. She refused drugs until the very end, bearing her pain with fortitude. At the last, she spoke of seeing incarnate and disincarnate entities in her room. She arranged her material affairs and said farewell to those of her friends who were near enough to visit her. She astonished the good Scottish doctor who attended her at the last by saying cheerfully, a day or so before she lapsed into a coma. She said, "Goodbye, doctor. See you in the next world." So, as soon as I was able to bring myself to a conscious state of mind after my withdrawal from my own out body, I knew that I was the same in essence. True, I felt light, and there was a new sense of freedom that was bewildering. I was the same, yet not the same. On 5th December 1965, Frances Banks had vacated her body on 2nd November 1965, and this is the transmitted message to her friend Helen Greaves on 5th December 1965. "I have been able to come to you. Your husband over here has brought me. Yes, I know him well now. I always felt a kinship with him, even when I was on earth. Do you remember? I like him. He has a great sense of humor, a kind or irrepressible fun. You two must have enjoyed each other's company. I'm in a kind of rest home now. It is run by the sisters of the community to which I belonged when in incarnation. They are so kind and gentle with me. I am now lying in a bed, high up on a terrace that looks out over a vast sunlit plain. It is a beautiful scene and so restful. I'm recuperating from the illness which brought disintegration to my physical body. I feel content and calm and at peace. I shall stay here. Indeed, I have already told Mother Florence that I want to work with her here when I'm ready. Souls are brought here from earth and from other places when they are ready. They are nursed and taken care of here, as am I. After I have become adjusted to this life, I think I shall stay on here and teach with the sisters. Here, there is no compulsory confinement and no punishment except what you mete out to yourself. I've always been, by nature and inclination, a teacher, and it is a great joy to learn that one can still exercise one's skills in this new life. It will be good for me too to do a job of work where I am not noticed. After the change was over and I was free of my earthly covering, I woke up here in this hospital at the rest home. My room had no walls and the sunlight seemed to flow over one all the time. I opened my eyes or I came back to consciousness, and there was Mother Florence, just as she used to be and as I had remembered her for so many years. She took my hand. She said, "So, you have arrived safely? As soon as I can reorient myself sufficiently, I shall be teaching or tutoring again. It is the service I can give. I'm already learning so much. I have discovered that I can use telepathy both ways, to receive and to relay. There are not the difficulties here that we experienced on the earth. This holds out all sorts of exciting possibilities. Indeed, I am already able to contact your mind, and what is more important, to hold that contact so as to pour ideas out to you." Now, on 12th December, which is 1965, here we live so much more in the realm of mind. As we ponder over an experience or a purpose, the mind stretches out to see all sides of the problem. This is a new and not always exciting or pleasant experience. It is rather like a chain reaction, much more potent and real than the old association of ideas of earth psychology. Here, as one thinks, one is. Somewhere in the deep of my mind, too, blueprints are brought forward into my consciousness. One is a perfect idea with which my spirit went bravely into incarnation. The other is the resultant of only a partially understood plan, in fact, my life as it was actually lived. The blueprints resemble maps with colored places and light and dark patches and a kind of glowing sun for the highlights. First of all, the mind looks at the whole comparison and sets the blueprints side by side. This is the first shock, a true humbling of yourself to find that you did So little when you could have done so much, that you went wrong so often when you were sure that you were right. During this experience, the whole cycle of your lifetime unfolds before you in a kaleidoscopic series of pictures. During this crisis, one seems to be entirely alone. Yours is a judgment. You stand at your own bar of judgment. You make your own decisions. You take your own blame. You are the accused, the judge, and the jury. This is where quite a few souls in the rest home have become immobilized. Their pictures were so searing in their exposures. So we try to help them along, but only when they have made the inner desire to right their wrongs. Until that decision, I do not know what happens to them, but I should think that they are prisoners of the self. Remember this, friends, prisoners of the self. The second stage of this recapitulation starts when the soul feels strong enough and calmed sufficiently to take the earth life round by round. Then the blueprints are brought into the mind again. Only this time, the start is made from the moment of departure from the body. Now, on 11th January 1966, the planes of the spirit stretch onward into infinity. What joy it will be going forwards, gravitating, even though slowly, to one's true place. I presume each plane will seem real, will have more reality than the preceding one. That sounds like a paradox, but reality itself, it is quite beyond our comprehension. I have talked long with Mother Florence upon this. She's so much further advanced. She seems to pass at will between the planes. Yet she admits there is so much more, infinitely much more, beyond that to which she is admitted. I long to go on, to view those planes of light, to touch those great lives, yet I am content here and happy, as one must be. You can't push yourself into heavens beyond you. The law of progression is exact. But I am trying to shed some of the clutter of the personality. We all have to do that, and there are three ways in which to carry it out here: by self judgment and true assessment of experiences, by service to one's fellows, and by aspiration. Not so different, you will say, from the earth life after all, but oh, with so many compensations. I can express it best in this thought. The subjective of the earth plane mind has become the objective in this new state of being. The subjective or inner content of my thoughts, aspirations, and desires here and now will fashion the objective place to which I will pass on the next stage of my journey. Just as the inner self of the soul within the body mind on earth decides the first future home on this level, more and more important, therefore, and invaluable is the inner life of meditation and contemplation, and at at one meant with divine beauty and truth. The saying on earth, as a man thinks, so is he, is true in essence, truer than our ideas can conceive. By man's thoughts and inspiration, he weaves for himself his future place in this dimension. This is logical law. In the earth life, he can build a facade about himself. Here, he has no such mask. He is known here for what he is and for what his inner subjective life has made him. Now, 13th January 1966, we live or we exist according to the level of our thought life. Some are content to stay, thinking no doubt that this is the final stage. There must, of course, come a time in the soul's awakening when that belief is proved false. But Father Joseph tells me that some souls settle down in one stage for years, even centuries, while others persist in their former earth surroundings for ages. On 17th January 1966, light, light. and yet more light. Light to educate and uplift the minds of the people, bringing calmness and peace in a sure reliance on life's purpose and the wonder of divine creation. My experience happened during the last season of willing and praying myself into light. I was transported, how I do not know, to another place, another sphere, and another mansion in this world. I was conscious of being in a great atmosphere of learning. I realized that I was in a university, yet it was much more than that. But there were halls of learning and a pervading atmosphere of thought which thrilled my soul and satisfied a deep yearning in me. The buildings appeared Grecian in character, clean of line and symmetry. There were outer courts and beautifully vistas of green gardens where fountains of light played. Here there were many souls, group of students, sometimes surrounding one who appeared to be a teacher, intent upon his discourse or composed in meditation with him, sometimes in clusters, eagerly discussing together, and sometimes a student alone and apart in contemplation. These here were of all types and from all nations. Here was a Chinese, an Indian, and a redskin. They were not different now, yet inwardly one was cognizant of the race to which they had latterly belonged. All had an air of concentrated clarity of thought and purpose, which clothed them like auras, brilliant and shimmering, yet varying in color and in degree of intensity. I saw your husband in one group in this court, intent with other on the discourse of a teacher, too immersed in the subject. He only acknowledged me by a quick turn of the head, as though surprised to see me. On 17th January, later, 1966, here one seems to be naked. There is no mask even for thought, one's inmost thought. And sometimes I shudder at the realization that our fellows here can read us. As we read books illustrating character and thought and action on earth, here one's thoughts return to one like boomerangs, potent and immediate in their effects. Now, on 23rd January 1966, your husband has been to the home often, and we have had long talks together. I feel that I know and understand you much better now. His information has cleared up much that was puzzling to me in your reactions to life and to people. I now understand you in a very different way from that which I thought I understood when we worked together on earth. He has a great respect for your fight, which he says he never appreciated when in his body. It seems to me now that we only understand properly and without emotional prejudices when we are separated from the life on earth. This seems such a pity, and your husband agrees. How useless is remorse here? Remorse for those things we did not do as well as for those we did. Our actions mostly resulting from the fact that our minds and therefore our reactions to circumstances were clouded by partial judgment and by preconceived conclusions. We here do regret those lacks very acutely, all the more so because scales have fallen from our eyes and we behold truth. Or perhaps I would be safer in saying a wider state of truth than could penetrate or neutralize the negative emotions of the body mind. I have visited the lower regions, though, I assure you, with conductors who were able to guide and protect us. Believe me, it is a terrible region or regions of semi gloom, of wholesome, some sticky emotions, of utter distortion of all that is beautiful. One's feelings are wrung by the pitiful sights. Compassion flows out for those poor half alive creatures in their self darkness. There are wonderful helpers in these regions. These have to be advanced souls, strong in themselves and firm in the light before they can choose to do such work. I returned to my cottage and my golden garden with a feeling of relief, together with a great joy and appreciation of the light here. I thought a lot about those words, they that sit in darkness and the shadow of death, and a new meaning and connotation was added to our old scriptural one. That place was shadow indeed, the shadow of death, but not so definitely the death of the body as the death of the mind. But there the mind is insert in the density caused by the wrong man's mind will and free will. Death of the body is merely a change. The shadow of death is a gruesome fact, a fact that will never be experienced by those who try to live the good life and open their minds to truth. So this is from the Testimony of Light, friends, from by Helen Greaves, by her friend Frances Banks. Yes, friends, I know it is a little longer topic, and however, she has shared many important things that happens in the other worlds, and this also gives an affirmation of how to live here on this earth plane. Like it's all how clean we keep here in the mind level. It also helps us to evolve there. So yes, friends, if you want to share anything, you can go ahead and you can unmute yourself and share. Because all these topics affirms us. There's so much to learn. Uh, while on earth, we have to do a lot of things. We should not go up there and we should not think, oh, wish I could have done that. We know that we know that this is the right thing, but still we try to not do it. So now is the chance. Don't delay things. When you feel it is right, speak your right, speak your truth, do your truth, and there you don't feel any regrets when you go up there. So yes, Ram, please go ahead and unmute yourself.
You summarized well, Madhu. And good morning, friends, everyone. Very happy to be here and hearing these wonderful things. So you summarized it rightly, what I wanted to say. So do what you want to do, what your inner calls for you to do, because we are here for that. So we should not be holding back, thinking a lot of other things which are not true in the end in our mind. Yeah, because they're all our thoughts, the way we are conditioning. So we must do. Don't wait, do it. And the second point, which was beautiful, was about being, wherein she said that now I understand you well after hearing to your husband why you were like that. Now I understand you well. So if there are certain people, if there are certain conditions, situations, experiences in our life that we do not understand now, know that there is always a better understanding than the understandings we have now. That is why judge no one, non-interference, because we did not really well understand why certain people are like this, why certain situations are like that, why certain experiences are here. So do not judge, do not judge, do not judge. So experience the beingness of everyone, because they're perfect, exactly perfect. So do and be. Do the best, don't wait. Be the best, don't be conditioned. They were very beautifully said in this article, Madhu. Thank you, thank you, thank you, friends.
Thank you so much, Ram, for sharing this. It's very insightful. Thank you so much. Yes, Arpita.
Yes, thank you so much, Madhurka and Ramana. It was a wonderful topic. And actually, I got a question.
Mhm.
So, like for example, if someone dies here and then they are going to the upper world and
Mm,
they become conscious there,
mm,
like eh, like they are aware of everything. They could communicate with the mind
mm,
to the people here in this world, for example.
mm,
Like, what is the difference between an enlightened being and an ignorant being, for example? For example, if if someone has become enlightened here in this world, he
mm,
knows what is his purpose and what he's doing even when he is here. And once he is went to the upper world or wherever he
mm,
wants, he will be the same, I guess,
mm,
like how he was here. And then the ignorant being, like for me, for example, if I go to the upper world, I will become as if an enlightened one, or how
mm.
it is, this is
Yes, wonderful, beautiful question, Arpita. So we will all go up there, like it depends upon the levels where we go, like as the enlightened one will be going to the light, but whereas we who are still working with the mind, who have so many things in our mind, so we will go to the first plane, or like we will just go there astral plane, and we will work, we will see our blueprints, what all we have done. And uh, and from there we take a choice. Okay, now I learned my lesson, so I want to do this and I want to do that. So I will learn more in this astral planes, and then I go to the earth plane. That's how the more earth is a beautiful school. We come here to do the practicals. Above we learn all those things, but when we come to earth plane, we forget everything whatever we have planned. Knowing everything, you have put all the information before you were born, that you have to do this, and you have planned for yourself, but we missed doing that. When we go up there, we regret, why did I not do all those things? And after many times of coming and going, we become like an enlightened one, where if we are here, we are the same, and if we are above, we are the same. We are just doing our purpose. So yeah, this is what is my understanding, Arpita.
okay. Thank you, Ka.
Mm.
So, like for example, we have um, we predetermined some things to do, and then if we don't do the same thing as we decided, we will regret afterwards.
It's not exactly regretting. I mean, like it's not exactly as written here. As her husband was regretting that he could not appreciate his wife when he was there on the earth plane.
Mm.
So some things like this, but it won't take a lot of time for us to understand it, to be to come out of it. The more you regret there, we fall into the lower worlds, as mentioned here. There is nobody who puts you out there in the lower worlds. It's you who with your thought patterns, you lower yourself in those worlds as well. So it's not exactly about regretting, it's about understanding that, oh, I could have done that, and I make sure that in the next incarnation, I will do that. So
Okay,
till you pass that exam, you will have to come back again and again in a different forms to take the same test.
okay. So everything is based on our own will, our own choice.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Like for example, her husband, if he would have wished to come back to Earth, he would have did that uh, like many days ago.
Yeah.
Uh, but right now he didn't want to come back. He's just waiting.
Yes, they're
For,
just there. I read few months back about Osho. Osho, to come to this earth plane as Osho, he waited for 700 years.
okay, yes, I was
So there
reading.
are, as mentioned here also, like there are so many souls who doesn't want to immediately take birth. They want to just stay there, wait there. They just want to rest, and they just want to enjoy. They want to learn a lot of things about there. They want to read a lot of things. There are so many libraries as well over there. So they want to read everything, and they want to prepare themselves to come back to this earth plane. So it might take centuries and centuries altogether. So it's not defined that okay, now you go after 10 years you will be coming back. No, it's not like that. It depends
Mm.
on each soul, you know.
Okay. And
Yeah.
also, I think the time is not the same as here. Maybe
Yes,
where
exactly.
the
There is no
experience.
time.
Yeah.
There is no time there, you know.
Okay.
So yeah. Thank you,
Mm.
Arpita, for
So much.
this. Yeah. Hey, Sapna.
Hey Madhu, it's a coincidence, I should say. I know you've been covering this topic since a couple of days, but I could not join because it's very late for us. But today, I happened to watch an episode on Netflix on surviving death, wherein people were explaining those people who had near-death experiences, and they
Mm-hmm.
were explaining what exactly they saw, and they put it so beautifully. I was so overwhelmed and happy, like how they felt. So a lady was sharing how she was doing rafting and she got submerged in water, and when she opened her eyes, she saw her spirit coming out of her body, and she was going into some worlds wherein she was
Mm-hmm.
invited by the spirit guides, and they were
Mm-hmm.
telling her that this is not the right time, and she was
Mm-hmm.
explaining how beautiful it was. So earlier, maybe I would have not been able to connect to that particular thing, what she was explaining, but it's so beautiful. And even in the same episode, I just watched the first episode, they were talking about how you can communicate with people whom you could not. As Ram was mentioning, trying to understand the situation, there is a better understanding. So a person actually, during that experience, he happens to talk to he meets his dad as soon as he leaves
Mm-hmm.
his body, to whom he did not have a good relationship, and he actually talks to him and they hug each other, and he feels very happy, and he didn't want to come back, but he comes back to his physical body after that. So he was
Mm-hmm.
telling that there's so many things we don't know, and today's topic somehow, like, it's I could connect very well. But I had one question, Madhu, while watching that episode. I did not
Mm-hmm.
read much about souls and what happens like after death, and all that, but I have some basic understanding. So, what happens is, what they say is, there are some medium people, like who they're called as mediums. So, wherein they interact with the souls from the other side, like if somebody from the family, right? So they
Mm-hmm.
interact. Now, the question that popped up in my mind is, once the soul leaves the body, it goes to the higher planes or other
Mm-hmm.
dimensions, is what we have heard, or they might reincarnate in another physical body, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how can some souls some souls, like, are still accessible to the family? So is it the soul or what it is?
No, it is them as Swapna, like it's not like must that the soul has to reincarnate immediately. They are there and watching over the family, and they want to make sure that the family is okay, and they want to. Being a medium is like confirming them that I'm okay. Like you take care. They're putting everything in the thought level. They send us an like a guide or an intuitions that yes, a family member can be our spiritual guide.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay.
they come to us, and they are all around us. Like it's just that we are not in that level to
Are we
to
not at
see,
level?
to experience them. And they are watching over us. They are taking care of us. They are, how do we get these intuitions, how do we get these sudden ideas to do something? They are giving us a helping hand. They are just helping us, hey, this is the direction, like. And sometimes when we are alone, when we are thinking about that person, some breeze or some feeling comes that
Yes.
do not feel bad. Those are the things. Maybe it is very much required for that family. It happens with most of the families that the advanced soul, that vacated ones, they stay there. It's not in grieving. It's not like pulling that soul down. It's about understanding. That soul understand that the family needs help. Like that's why the soul chooses to be there, and as well as here on this earth plane around the family, to comfort them. Once the job is done, and then this soul will move on.
Yes, yes. Because I know that some souls want to help, But I also had this question as, how can they be with them all the time? Because some of the people were saying that I can sense him all the time with me. So that guy's dad passed away when he was 14, but even till now he says, see, I can still feel my dad. So
Yeah.
I had this question. For me, it happened to me also, Madhu. I shared in one of our sessions. My grandmother, she's always with me. I mean, but mostly I used to see her in dreams every time. Like if I was having any health issue or any illness, she used to come and she used to comfort me and go away. So one day I was lying on the sofa and I could clearly see her walking from our patio backyard,
Mm,
coming and trying to comfort me and tell me, and she was going away. But once I got more deeper and deeper into meditation, she stopped coming.
mm,
So I thought maybe she handed over me, to this path. Like, until I came to
mm,
this path, I felt she was with me, and then I'm not feeling her like how I used to feel her before. So that's
mm,
why I could connect to this thing also very well. And I had this question: so, do they come when needed, or are they around us? If so, once a soul detaches the body, leaves the body, and it goes to a planes,
mm,
certain planes. So, do they keep checking on us, or is it that they are with us? How can
mm.
they be with us? So many questions I had,
Yeah.
but some of them,
Yeah.
yes, you definitely answered, Madhu. Thank you so much.
I will also tell about my experience, Swapna. When I was very little, um, you know, um, not good thing was happening with me. Like somebody were physically abusing me in the sense like molesting, trying to molest me. I was very little at that time.
Mm-hmm,
So you cannot imagine my uncle passed over in that year,
mm-hmm.
and suddenly we could hear my uncle's voice, and that one who is trying to abuse me had ran away from that place.
Wow.
Like my uncle passed over, and how can we hear him? Like how
Yeah.
can we hear him? So that means they are there. Like when the like his voice was very clear, and I till this date I still hear it rings in my ears
I
that
have
day.
goosebumps,
Thanks to
Madhu.
my uncle, thanks to my mama, that he was there, and I love him so much, and we all love him so much, and surely he was there to check on us, like, and we don't see things, but they from the above, they can keep on watching. Hey, they can tune on the channel, and hey, what's happening on the earth, what's happening with my family. So they keep on checking on us, and if something is not right, they work as a spirit guides. They come here, and they help us to come out of this situation. They don't want something wrong to happen on us. So yeah, this is one experience I had, and it's very deep, like, and how he had come, and how he had protected. Always we think that only physical people can protect, but no, they also our departed loved ones can also do that.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
Madhu. I think that's the reason I tuned in today. Even though it was late, I was so drawn to this session today. So thank you so
Mm.
much.
Thank you, Swapna.
Sure.
Yes, Sharu, please go ahead, Sharu.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Mm,
Thank you, Swapna ji, for bringing up this question, because this was the question that I asked the angels also. Because when I talk about my maternal grandfather who passed away 35 years back, so before my dad passed away, he was the one who used to come to me as a spirit guide. He was my spirit guide. And when in 2019 my dad passed away, he was being given this responsibility. But for past these so many years, he was the one who used to be the spirit guide. So I asked this question to the angel, that how is it possible? On one hand, you say that when a body leaves, when a soul leaves the physical body, when the soul vacates, it's only for 13 or 14 days that the soul is connected to the emotions, the soul is connected to the earth. And after that, there is no connection, but there's the only one emotion that resides there, that is of love. So whatever connection that the soul has, it is of love towards everybody, no matter who that person is. So how is this possible that there are no relations? So I am no longer the daughter, I'm no longer the wife, I'm no longer anybody to them. Then how come they still come to me? My grandfather still comes to me, and he keeps guiding me. So the answer that I got was really, really profound, because they said that you need to understand that everything is energy. So they are pure energies, even if they do not have any emotion, but there is an emotion of love that is there with them. And through that emotion of love and energy, they come to you and they guide you and they protect you. And what happens is, even if they have taken an incarnation, for example, if my maternal grandfather took an incarnation and gave this mantle to my dad, that now, okay, you are the one who is going to take care, or maybe my dad was not there, then what would have happened was he would have come to me still in that energy form. And because I was very much, you can say, familiar with that kind of an image, then angels would have taken his form and come to me as my spirit guide, and I would have still thought that my grandfather is communicating with me. So it is the angels who come, even if after they have incarnated and they have moved on, but still, because we are familiar with that face, we are familiar with that image, we are familiar with that physical form. So angels and the spirit guides would come in that form in front of us, and we always think that those people who are deceased, who have gone or who have passed by, they're still there with us, right? So this is basically the explanation that I got from the angels, this understanding they gave to me, which was very profound, because this was the same question I asked, because I was experiencing the same thing with my maternal grandfather who was there. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much.
Wonderful explanation, Charo. Wonderful information. It's a new information. Thank you so much. Very profound, as you said. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, Indraji. Indraji, are you there? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, Indraji, now we can hear you. Please go ahead.
So sorry, something went wrong. Yes, yes, in your reading, at one point she says, here we are naked. I was thinking, what does she mean by that? On Earth, on the Earth plane, we have, I think, two identities. One is a physical identity, which is our body form, and the other identity we have, everyone has, is at the mind level.
Yes.
We are every one of us have a unique mind, and what our unique mind reflects is our ego. Every one of us have an ego, and that's the second identity we have. Perhaps what she means is, in the astral world, we don't have a physical form.
Yeah, exactly.
And they don't have ego, so they don't have an identity. They are very transparent. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody sees everybody wholly and completely, and that's what she means. I think.
Yes, that's
I thought
what she meant,
that with
Indraji.
you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Indraji. Beautiful. So yes, friends, I think we can all see each other again tomorrow. Again, today evening we will have a meditation session at 6 p.m. And tomorrow morning, for the topic is from one of my favorite again authors or person, his Meher Baba, and he speaks about his brother Jamshad is not really dead. So it's a very small topic but very interesting one, and please join in, friends, and let us know. Each day we are learning, and from all the masters here, and from all the masters above there, and also from the articles, what the information that we are gaining every day. So let us not keep it only to ourselves. Let us share it with our friends. Let us discuss all these topics to our friends and family. Let us be open so that we open a new door into their lives. Maybe we became ready. We also make sure that our loved ones are also ready for this information, so that when they pass over, then there is no confusion. There is only clarity. So let us all be a group and do this thing, friends. So thank you for listening, and I hope you have enjoyed this topic, and we will all see each other in the evening and also tomorrow morning. Till then, namaste, friends. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.